lying, thinking last night how to find my soul a home where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone. All alone. Nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. There are some millionaires with money they can't use. Their wives run around like banshees. Their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone. But nobody, no, nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone. All alone. Nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering. The wind is gonna blow. The race of man is suffering. And I can hear them moan. 'Cause nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone. All alone. Nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Maya Angelou. Ooh, ooh, ooh. She cute. Okay. Hey YouTube, it's me, Kristianna. Welcome back to my channel. We are still gonna discuss things. We still gonna talk about stuff, y'all. I just needed a break from the drama stuff. You know what I mean? The negative energy content that I was putting out. But I realized like there's still wiggle room for us to talk about good stuff too. Talk about real stuff, things that matter, things that affect all of us. I, am a woman. I identify as a woman. And so a lot of times I find myself like speaking to other women. So things that like affect us as women, and just life, right? Like, I think it's okay to still be able to talk about the things that I care about. So today we're talking about love, loneliness, and hiraeth. I guess I should still say that like my opinions are my own. My opinions could be wrong. This is an open forum. This is definitely an open forum. I do not pretend to be anybody's doctor. I do not pretend to have all of the answers. I love to speak from my experiences, or what I have experienced through people close to me. But I also love when we can have conversations as a community that kind of even grow me. Some of you have said things to me that like allowed me to look at certain things in a different way, and I love that. So every once in a while I find that I have like these reoccurring themes, or these themes like just keep showing up in various ways, whether it's through a phase I'm in my own life, or something maybe a friend or friends are going through. And especially like in my own life, I find that I have what I call now seasons, and I don't usually recognize that they're happening until they're over. And then I can look back at these different chunks of moments and times and I go, aha. And I really love to be able to like reflect on that stuff, which is like high key necessary for personal growth. During this last year and a half almost of the global situation, global chicken panini, I feel like I have most certainly experienced moments of love, moments of loneliness, moments of hiraeth. that like now that I can, now that I have language for even hiraeth, which if I'm being honest, I learned that word from Kelly Stamps. I've been trying to see if I can continue to watch her content, if I'm being honest. Like I said in a video about her, is that I find that sometimes she says things that personally rub me a certain kind of way. But there's a part of me that wants to kind of hang in there because there aren't a lot of us quirky girls on the platform. But in one of her videos talking about loneliness, which she does really often, she talked about hiraeth and how it's basically like a longing for the old days, or like nostalgia, longing or being even homesick for moments in time that are like gone forever. And I have definitely experienced that and did not have the language. And so I am really grateful that she was able to bring that word up into the table. And now it's something that I can bring to you guys and, you know, even to people in my personal life. I feel like of all of these themes, love is probably the worst. I don't know, maybe you guys have a different opinion, and I would love to hear that, but for me, when I think about it, it's like maybe love is the worst. I know that during this time I, you know, experienced a little bit of love, the romantic kind, and I say that it's probably the worst because when you're experiencing it, you're like flying, right? You're on cloud 9. You just like feel super good, like a super person, and everything is beautiful. But then when it's over, you feel like you want to die. And so like, so, you know, I really do think that love might be the worst of it. And I find that also with love, like people end up like accepting things that they maybe wouldn't in other kinds of relationships, even myself included, and friends as well. I see us as women often accepting things from people just to say that we have somebody, which also kind of like leans, I guess, into the loneliness, accepting things that we know are unacceptable, creating couple goals online. Even as I'm saying that, like I started thinking about Quavo and Sweetie again, and how people used to call them couples goals, and then come to find out that he's like putting his hands on her and they fighting in elevators, and it's really like an ugly situation, and all those gifts that he was giving her was actually like hush or like guilty conscience gifts. Like I don't even know with the bribes, like what are we calling that? Maybe we need to also look into what does that mean for us. I feel like love can also be a little bit dangerous in that way too, right? Because I'm sure that she had a lot of love for him. Another thing I've been thinking about with this is like how selfish like love can make a person. If I can't have you, nobody can. And how important it is to understand when you are being that person, and how important it is to let somebody, like let a person go if they are not for you. And really it's like holding on to people that, like people and things that don't serve you, situations that don't serve you, don't like help you get to where you need to go. Actually, those things stand in your way. But I also acknowledge that we don't always have that foresight when it's happening. The last thing on this for now I want to say is that, like, if you are someone who's experiencing a breakup right now, which a lot of people are, I think that's also a part of the reason I just wanted to come and just spew some thoughts on love specifically, because so many people are experiencing heartbreak, maybe because it's getting nicer out. But if you are experiencing, you know, a romantic heartbreak, or even a familial like heartbreak at this time, you know, time heals. doesn't always like cure, but it makes it easier. Like, allow yourself time to breathe. Loneliness is pretty awful as well. Like, pretty awful as well. And I have definitely spoken about this in the past on this channel. Is like, you know, I chose to completely like lock up the house and lock down, you know, to survive the thing during this time. And there have definitely been times over the last year and a half where the loneliness was killing me, and I, shout out to Brittany, free her. And I feel like I definitely had to get creative in curing my own loneliness. Social media was actually really helpful. Like, I spent a lot of time on Clubhouse, being able to hear real voices in real time, being able to interact with real people in real time, you know. Of course family, but at one point we weren't even allowed to see our family members, you know, because definitely like family can be a big boost for loneliness. But also I recognize that like some people live with their family and feel lonely, and I think that's another thing that people don't always acknowledge, is that like you could be surrounded by people and be really lonely. I know I personally have a lot of chosen family, people who are really friends, but like that they are just like a step further in the friendship, and so they feel like family. I'm really grateful for those connections that I have. I know that like not everyone is able to do that either. I've been interacting lately with old friends from school and stuff, and one person in particular, I can tell that she is super lonely, right? And I think that if you are encountering someone and you know is like that, check up on them every once in a while. I feel like it doesn't hurt anyone. Like, it doesn't hurt to say, hey, I thought about you today. I think people underestimate how far that goes. As a part of this little loneliness segment, I also want to bring up the importance of knowing when you need to be alone. Like, how important it is to acknowledge when you need time to yourself and being able to vocalize that. One thing a friend said a while back, in telling me a story about her and her friend, and she told me that her friend said this thing about like, you know, your friends are there for you, of course, but they are not therapists, unless they actually are. But your friends are not your therapist, like for sure. And I've been carrying that for a while now as kind of like a point of motivation for me to be able to keep saying no, or to keep placing boundaries when people are putting too much on me. I am definitely somebody who's like super empathetic. I carry a lot of weight of the people around me on my shoulders, and I had to learn the muscle of like, no, or like, I really can't have this conversation with you right now, or like, you know, I hear that you're upset about this thing, and you know, I care about you, but I don't have the words for you at this time. And some people are going to take that bad. Like, not everybody who hears you say I don't have time for your shit is going to take that like with a smile, right? But you gotta be ready for all that comes with like protecting your peace. And I really think that that's what we're getting to, is like how important it is to protect your peace when you need to be alone. And if you totally need to escape, I recommend movie watching. I love, listen, how many times I watched the Twilight Saga during quarantine, or just like generally over this last year. It's kind of embarrassing, but there's something about the Twilight Saga that completely immersed me into this like imaginary world where I don't have to worry about nothing until it's over. If you have a movie like that, let me know what it is down below. And I do want to be responsible in saying that if you do need to see someone, a therapist, a counselor, somebody, and you have the means to do that, please go do that. If I had the means to do that, I would be doing that. Trust me. There's nothing weird about acknowledging that you need help and going to get it. Oh, it's raining super hard. I wonder if you guys will be able to hear it. It's raining so hard right now. It's kind of dark too. You can't tell because I'm under lights, but it's really, really dark today. And as I said earlier, hiraeth is definitely a new word for me, but I am glad that I know it now, because most certainly I have had like these moments and times that were like really scary or really challenging, or just like have changed me. Like so many moments I can look back and be like, this clump of time literally changed me. Times that were really beautiful that I can look back and be like, damn, like that was a really special moment. And also being able to make some sort of peace with the fact that, you know, it was what it was at the time, and that that'll never happen again. I know that Kanye is now like a super problematic person for a lot of different reasons, but a while back in that song he did with Maroon 5, I want to say it was called Heard Him Say, he says that like people in your life are like seasons and everything that happens is for a reason. I think about that quote a lot, so much that a few years back I had gotten, you can't even see because the angles, but I have like a little leaf here on my wrist, because I have had so many seasons. I have had so many seasons, and I've met so many interesting people over the years, and I used to get sad when those times would be over and those people would disappear, and then I just had to realize that like that's life. You meet people and not everybody stays. Hey, it's editing me, gang. I just wanted to clarify that like I am still friends with a lot of the people that I'm thinking of when I'm talking about this. It's just that maybe they don't live where I live, or maybe I was somewhere, you know, that I wouldn't normally be, and I met people and now they're not in my life, kind like in person physically, but like I'm still friends with people. Okay. But I am really thankful to the universe, God, Allah, all of the above, like my own self. Like I'm just really thankful that I have my mind and can acknowledge and have gratitude for the moments that like I've been allowed to experience and that are now gone. I want to say it again, like time really does help. Time heals. Like time makes things easier. If you can remind yourself not to be so hard on yourself, whatever it is, like I said, if it's, you know, relationship stuff, romantic or familial, like whatever it is, give it time. And the last thing I want to say on the concept of like hiraeth is that like if you can acknowledge in a moment like this moment is special, write it down, journal. I have a journal, and I've been trying to like remember to actively write things down in it, because the things that are in it I'm really thankful to have now, because there are details that are there that I would have never remembered now. So if you can acknowledge that you are in a special time, in a weird time, a wonky time, whatever it is, and you can remember to write it down, do that. Your future self will thank you. Anyway, this was just like a really chill, I guess it was it a rant, a ramble? I don't really know, but hopefully somebody got something from it. And if you want to like add to this conversation or tell a personal story or experience or whatever it is, please share it down in the comments. You never know, you might offer something that, you know, will help someone else. So let's chit chat. Good, bad, or indifferent. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.